Magic Online is giving us a Vintage Championship week, which means prelims and a big tournament on Saturday. Welcome back, Vintage Gamers. It is Vintage Championship Week. This is a Monday night Vintage preliminary event. Those have not fired, or they were removed from the schedule even for the last, I don't know, a year or so. Maybe not. Maybe it's only been half a year. I don't know. It's been months. But we have Vintage prelims back this week because it is Vintage Championship Week. What does that mean? It means we got a special high stakes, big prize event on Saturday. It's going to be called the Vintage Championship Week Finals, and you can get a free entry to this event if you do any of the following during the week: 5-0 a league, 4-0 or 3-1 a preliminary, or top 8 the Thursday or Friday challenge. If you do, you can get direct entry for the Vintage Championship Finals, which is going to be, like I said, it's a big or higher stakes event. It's going to have the prizes equivalent of a super qualifier, so like 200 chests and foils for first. There's also going to be a top 32 special avatar psychic frog for anyone who gets in top 32 of this event, so pretty cool. There is also going to be a vintage super qualifier on Sunday, so I will stream both of those events this weekend. 2 8 or 9 round high stakes vintage tournaments on Magic Online. It's going to be good testing for the upcoming Eternal weekend. So tonight, preliminary event. For those who don't remember, preliminary is 4 rounds. We play a nice 4-round event, and then if you go 3-1 or 4-0, we're going to get our free entry to the finals, and also get some QPs that we can use towards the Sunday event. I'm going to try hard today, and I'm going to play my classic Lurrus PO deck. Nothing crazy about this list. I'm taking almost the exact list from the ELDs event that I just played in, except I'm going to cut the basic plane sideboard splash, and the reason is because I need to free up sideboard slots because I'm going to choose to play for Leyline of the Void tonight. I know you can see the players who are in this event, and there are multiple Bazaar gamers. So this is the thing I've been theory testing for Eternal Weekend. I believe Eternal Weekend will have an abnormal amount of Bazaar gamers because of price concerns. Eternal Weekend being the only true no proxy event of the year. So this is my thing. I'm going to take out 1 Pyro, take out like a Hercules and a Mindbreak Trap and the Plains for some ley lines. So that's the only changes we're going to make. We're going to run straight up. We're not going to try out the special new Breach version that plays Breach Freeze instead of 4th Airlingas. I particularly like the 4th Airlingas, actually, have it being a somewhat modular, you can play it on, turn 1 and turn 2 kind of win condition spell. So I prefer this version for now, unless something changes. I will probably try to play the Breach version on stream at some point, but Breach has never been a card that I particularly enjoyed, so it seems unlikely that I will be delving down that route. I would not put Lurrus in the main. I don't think Lurrus is particularly good. This is not even a very good Lurrus deck. I don't have, like Soul Guides or anything to bring in. I'm just going to bring in the ley lines, and I won't reveal the Lurrus. But I don't think the Lurrus matters very much at all in the Dredge matchup. So we're going to play our prelim here. 4 rounds. Hardcore. Try hard is what the word I was looking for. There's going to be a lot of probably Lurrus PO big event recordings coming up. So brace yourself if you're one of the Lurrus PO haters, or if you're one of the, people who want to see me try to win the tournament, then here we go. Do you want to compete for custom paintings and tons of treasure chests from the comfort of your own home? Eternal Magic content creator Echo Baron is hosting 2 MTGO Echo Eternal weekend events open to everyone. Mark your calendars for Legacy September 6th and Vintage now on September 27th, and buy your tickets for Echo Eternal weekend today. Okay, here we go. Oh, the MTG bot is back. I love that. I have a cat. Round 1 of this prelim. My opponent has played 4 different decks since the new data set, so looks like Lurrus. Might be PO, might be Frog, hard to tell. All I know is my hand is bad. My hand is definitely bad. This hand is... it's very blue. Nice old frames. Classic Urza Saga hand. All right, they mulliganed. I'll go with them. Let's mulligan. This hand is definitely better, but not particularly good. It's really good if I hit another Mox, though. If my opponent is on PO, I think keeping Flusterstorm is the best. If my opponent is on Frog, I think I would rather keep Meticulous Archive. Either way, it's kind of unlikely two Flusters will come up, so I'm going to go with one. I think this is just a good hedge against Wasteland, just to have an additional land in our hand. Oh, Springs. Okay. So probably PO. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of power. So we can buy and play Lurrus with Lotus. We're going to go Merchant Scroll instead. Don't know if I agree with that. I think I would go for Lurrus. But this gives them Ancestral. If I have nothing, then it's quite good. And they just jam it. No, not afraid of negation in the slightest, huh? The fortune favors the bold. I don't know if I could ever recommend casting that Ancestral there, unless you just know that I'm on no negations, which is possible. I do play with my deck list revealed basically every event, so it's always on the Mox field, you know. It's probably a reasonable bet, though. Technically, the last event I played Lurrus Frog, so you could have gotten hit by the triple negation. Now they got probes, so now they know my hand, and they know that I'm not working with much here. This is part of the problem, in my opinion, of playing the Lurrus PO deck, is the mirror can be very swingy based on Mox and draws. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Obviously, like a Mind Break Trap or something would have been pretty good here. Trainer. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go Jet and Trainer and try to hit a Mox to turn on my Opal, to turn on Flusterstorm, to turn on PO. I think I have to. I'm that far behind at this point. And I can get a red source. And then I'm going to look for any Mox that's on Opal. There's a Pearl. And now I have Flusterstorm up to hopefully keep myself from dying. And then on the next turn I can PO. But I can't PO with Flusterstorm back up because Meticulous Archive is a tap land. Wow, I got a view botter. Deny that. How the mighty have fallen. I would say I am extremely unlikely to win this game, but there's always a possibility they just don't have the permission to stop my PO. Yep, you got a Lurrus. They know my whole hand, right? I think I showed them. Yeah, Trainer was what I drew for turn. So they know I have a Flusterstorm, so they can just play around that. Yeah, there's a bunch of white border cards from the what was that set called? Where they did the fake set. Mystery Booster, I believe. So there's like Probe, and there's a couple other ones that are white border. Mystery Booster 2. Thanks, Runt. Unfortunately, this build of my deck will have like two less sideboard cards from the mirror. So, but the mirror is not something I expect to play against too frequently right now. There are not very many people playing Lurrus PO online. There are tons in paper though. This is gonna be a demonic tutor. Yeah. I mean, I'll Flusterstorm it, sure. Now and then I pray that my opponent doesn't have a force. Oh, find a force off a trainer. Yeah, they found a force off a trainer. God damn, man. That's crazy. Oh. Yeah. Well, maybe they don't have a blue card. Nope, they have a blue card. They're pitching PO. Well, pitching PO is good for me. I'm gonna go with the Meticulous Archive and see if I can't find another PO, though there's one on the bottom right. Of course. Yeah, it's not good. Well, that was my opportunity. I was pretty close there. I could have, of course, let Demonic Tutor resolve, but that means they just automatically get a force, and I would have had to draw on Mox for it to work out. I don't really know that that's what I'm supposed to do there. I feel like hitting the Demonic, like the fact that they had a trainer afterwards is unfortunate, of course. But I feel like I don't want to give them the guaranteed force, and then I have to hit a mana. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. And then they lost a PO and they lost their ability to kick a trainer on this turn. So I think it makes the most sense. It didn't work out, but they drew another PO. Great. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. But that is a game that I did not have very much control over. That would have been a good draw. This could have been a close game if I got another turn. Okay, well, that's the PO mirror. Unfortunately, I only have a few cards to bring in this time because I am down one Pyro, one Mindbreak Trap from my typical sideboarding iteration. So I'll take out Island, and I'll take out Chain, and I'll take out Sword, which are all the worst cards by far. Everything else is pretty reasonable, so it's actually not a bad... It's not a bad mapping. All right, well, we'll try again. Hopefully, maybe we get to do the broken thing. Maybe we get a longer game. Well, this is certainly a hand that's looking to play a longer game. I definitely prefer to have a low Moxen mirror where we play a longer game and gives me more opportunities to utilize my knowledge of the deck. When I can get that to happen, I like it a lot. That's why I've considered cards like Chalice of the Void in the past. Just ways to try to make it slower. Fortunately, my opponent gets a look at my hand here, which is not great for my Pyroblasts. I chose not to fetch there for an Archive because I want to hold up Pyroblast and not give them a chance to resolve an Ancestral. There's definitely a chance that I fetch double red as well. They kept it on top. Saga is quite good here. It's quite good here. Yeah, I have Dress Down in my deck, though. They just jammed a stock up into a known Pyroblast. That is crazy to me. That is a wild choice. Feel like you could buy Lurrus here if you wanted to. Oh, mental misstep. Fair enough. I mean, this is the best spell to Pyroblast, really. I'm okay with fetching double red. I don't know if that's that big of a hindrance here. I mean, this trade is good for me, so... I'm gonna definitely go trainer. Stock up 4th Eralingas. Stefan's probably just stock up, and then we will fetch out the Meticulous Archive. But I'll represent Flusterstorm, though I doubt they'll play anything more. They'll probably go for Constructs, I would think. They're kind of low resources. No Bomble activation. It's also quite, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's the time to Bobble activation. I don't know. Another trainer. Yeah, I think this is fine. And what I'm gonna do is I'll go time walk second trainer. Maybe get to the point where I can play a stock up without being exposed to fluster, because I can't ever not be exposed to pyro, but if they only make one token, then that's not too hard to deal with. I'll time walk first. And then I'm gonna trainer. Flame would be pretty cool. Probe, misstep, Mox. Yeah, I think I like the first Mox here. I can play a stock up and not have it be flustered. It would only be pyroed. And if not, I could always hold my stock up, buy Lurrus. It's not the end of the world. They know about stock up from trainer. I can't remember if they know about force or not. Drew the PO. Okay, well, I will cast the stock up. So there's a flame, a bauble, a snapcaster, and a saga. This card is so sick. Yeah, I mean, I like Flame Saga, and then if my opponent makes a construct, then I'll just go to remove it and draw two. And I'll have my own Saga going, and I still have a force. Seems good. I could bait the activation with an attack. That doesn't seem necessary. And if my opponent wants to fluster or pyro this flame, I think that's fine with me. So I will destroy the artifact and draw two. Draw two and destroy the artifact. Cool. I mean, I think I'm in a great spot in this game. They're going to choose whether they want to keep their card or not. They don't. I've got my own constructs. I've got great POs. I can merchant for a fluster, merchant for an ancestral. They can't really make constructs anymore here. I mean, they could, but I wouldn't probably. But I also don't know where they go from here. They could go Lurrus. Certainly a reasonable place to go. I would force it. If I get countered, then I can just go Merchant Scroll second flame. So it's not even bad. It's a pretty good spot. Going for Mana Vault, stock up. This feels like a perfectly reasonable position to force from. I guess they can PO for two, but like, who cares? Sure. Cool. So another PO. Wish we had. It's actually a really unfortunate mana situation. Because if I get forced, I don't actually have a follow-up, really. I can just go Merchant Ancestral, make them force if they can, and then I have an activation of Saga if I don't have to, but I'm kind of like at least slightly worried about losing to a PO combo on the follow-up. Like I can Merchant Scroll for a force after the PO. I think Scroll Flame still has all the same problems. I can just get rid of my ability to use Saga and just go for the PO for 3. That's probably the best. Uh, yeah, I mean, that worked out perfectly. Um, I'm just gonna go another trainer. I just want to hit a Moxen off this. Oh, Lotus. Could just go Pearl and Merchant for Flusterstorm or Force. Both of those are pretty good. Don't know which one is actually better from this spot. Kind of think Fluster is. I think Fluster is better than Second Force. All right, so now I have Force Fluster. I should be in a great spot. I got untap next turn. I get to go get a mana off of the Saga and then go Trainer into PO. It should be a lethal one. I feel like I played this game really nice. This is the exact kind of game I like to play from the mirror. But my opponent did have the thing, so like certainly in a spot that was dangerous. I guess I'm not gonna keep this second trainer. Stock up's probably better anyways. Maybe stock up's not better than a trainer here. They can't really counter back because I have a Flusterstorm. Okay. I lied. They can counter back. I mean, I guess they could have Fluster back up to this too, and then I'm in trouble. I could have gotten Lotus so that I could have paid for some of their Fluster. Time Walk, PO, kill me? Maybe. Only 2 POs left. Okay, they're off it. I don't know. I could have died there. I could have absolutely died there. Don't know if there was a thing that would have given me better protection. Don't know. Don't know. All right, game 3. Yep, that's within range for sure. I'd love to just draw land and go for turn 1 Lurrus with Bobble. I think that would be the thing I would want to do the most. I don't even need an academy. I think I just need a Mox or a land, really. I like that misstep covered us from Vexing Bobble a little bit, which is kind of nice. Yeah, that is fair. Untapped land. Thank you for the clarification. I do request the untapped land. That is an important clarification. All right. Time walk. What do we do with that? I don't know. I can go Lotus, Vault, Bauble, PO for 2, leaving us with what? 1 blue left over to Lorien revealed if it doesn't work out. It's not great. It's not great. If it does work out, I have a blue. I can get a land. I can replay Mana Vault, and I have a Bauble draw. It's not like that's particularly exciting. I just am not really. It's not really clear that I'm supposed to like pass or anything. I don't think that opens up a lot for me. I could just go Lotus pass, use a Bauble as an extra draw, and then on the next turn go for like Lurrus is a lot better against my opponent's counterspell suite, though it's still can't protect myself from Force of Will. So it's like it's kind of unfortunate. I was definitely trying to draw Mox there. Thanks, Wheeler, for the raid. Hope you all had a good stream. Not sure. Definitely not sure. I probably should lead Lotus, not Bobble, in case they go for like negation trap or something. Because that could happen. Would certainly put me in a bad spot. I guess I can't beat a negation anyways, so. If they have mental misstep for my Manifold, I'm kind of priced into mental misstepping, and then I can't beat Pyro, but. I kind of am hoping they just have Pyro. It's a clean mental misstep trade. But obviously, if it's Flusterstorm, I can't do anything about that. It's Flusterstorm. Yeah, I mean, it's not good for me, for sure. What I'm gonna do is Lorien revealed into a Mishra's meticulous archive. And then I'll use my Bauble. Yeah, I really need to hit a land there so I could play Lurrus. That's what I really wanted to do, but gotta risk it. I don't know. I could wait. I could have waited, right? I could have just played Lotus, Bauble, Crack Bauble, and pass. It just feels icky. Doesn't mean it's wrong though. It just feels bad. All right. I'm looking pretty much for Mox to be on the top of my library. Well, the thing is, Fluster doesn't counter Lurrus. So, like, if I wait, use a Bauble, draw a land or a Mox, and play Lurrus, and they don't have Force, then it doesn't actually matter if they have a Fluster or not, right? Thunder Trap Trainer. That probably has to go in the yard. And then look at their top card. Mishra's Bauble. All right, well. I certainly don't feel good about that exchange. I'm gonna feel really bad about it if I don't have any more mana to come come through here. Okay. I mean, they're in a spot now where they can buy Lurrus and theoretically play it somewhere down the line here. I'm in the same problem as they were in. Because they do have the Mishra's Bauble. If they go for a stock up, it's almost certainly getting negated. I just need to figure out if I'm pitching Dress Down. I think I am. I think I would rather have the Time Walk rebuy and try to get myself to Lurrus. All right. Well, I've looked pretty deep to try to find this mana source. But I just can't hit. How deep am I now? I'm 12 cards deep. Pretty dead, I think. Now I can't Mental Misstep. But they also can't Mishra's Bauble for what it's worth. But if they have like second stock up, then it's pretty bad for me. If they go Trainer Ancestral, it's really bad for me. I think I'm just lost. Maybe I was too greedy, but I wasn't going to hit. I mean, I don't know if I was going to hit because I used Lorien Revealed to search, but it doesn't feel like my hand was a mulligan, though. Like, sure, it was a risky hand, but was it a mulligan? I don't think so. They hit stock up. It's really bad for me. They're going to Portable Hole my Vexing Bauble. I'm surprised they brought in Portable Hole. I don't particularly find it good in the mirror, but that's allowed. Not that I was saying it. I am dead to this stock up, though. Tolarian Academy. That's a start. Kind of want my Bauble back now, huh? All right. I think I'll draw Flusterstorm immediately, and then from there, I'm not sure. Well, the best I can do is buy Lurrus and hope their stock up doesn't hit Force. It's quite unfortunate. But that's about it. We've just been so far behind. We have caught up a little bit, but I mean, if they spend the turn stocking and their stock up isn't crazy, then maybe it's fine, but... Oh. That's pretty bad for me. Because now they probably could just do all of it. Stonking up using the red source there is not good. That's a huge mistake. Unless they know I have Mental Misstep for Pyro. I don't think there's anything you want to cast off of white here. I guess technically they could have another portable hole in their deck, and then they could hit my Mana Vault to turn off my Tolarian Academy. I guess that could happen. Mana Crypt was a hell of a draw, though, because it lets them do multiple things instead of tapping out. I think it would be silly to be raging about people having cards that are maybe suboptimal post-board. Like, I think that happens more than half of the matches that I play. All right, so they have Lurrus and 2 unknowns here. I have Lurrus and Bauble. They have Lurrus and Bauble. I guess my best draw is Force of Will. All right. This needs a resolve or I lose. Nope, they found Force off stock up. Force pitching Force, leaving them with Lurrus Bauble, and I'm lost. Well, I gave it my best shot. Don't know. Like, it wasn't a mulligan, right? It was just, I needed to hit the mana, and I didn't hit the mana. Nature Ancestral. Well, I technically have the answer to that. Oh, wait, they don't have a white source for Lurrus because they fetch base the Volcanic Tundra. Okay, wait, the game is still live. I have stock ups to draw here. Okay, yeah, this game is very live, actually. I thought they had double white, but they don't have double white. This is just a white creature, a white permanent, so... yeah, I mean, I need to hit, but I have 4 stock ups in my deck. I have 3 POs in my deck. I have Ancestral. I have Merchant Scroll. I have Thunder Trap Trainer. I have a lot of hits. I hit Pyroblast, and I have no red source in play. Great. Wonderful. They hit 4th Aerolingus. Yep. My opponent's got some solid draws, though. No Mana Crypt losses as well. All right, well, I need to combo out here, or I die. And I drew a Mox Opal. Okay, I think I just drew extremely below my opponent in this set. Because if I'm drawing the same cards my opponent's drawing from here, I'm very easily winning this game. But I did put myself in a tough position with my keep and how we played it. Unfortunate. Yeah, this is part of the problem with PO mirrors. There's a lot of variance in that inherent in them. I thought game 2, I thought it was a really clean game, but game 1 and game 3, we just really didn't have the cards we needed to do it. The only thing I can think about is like maybe I was supposed to. I don't think mulliganing the hand made sense. I think the hand is like had the requisite power level to be worth keeping. I think the only thing I could consider is maybe I was supposed to wait a turn and just see if I could bobble into a land, but that play is like really bad against Force of Will on Lurrus. This was unfortunate. All right, here we go. Round 2. I saw Lucas playing Dredge the other day, but not sure if that's still the case. Dredge the last 2, but he went 1-5, 2-4. But he also went 1-5 with Jewel Shops. So, but before that, did a bunch of winning with Jewel Shops. So, hard to say. This hand is not beating Jewel or Dredge, and my opponent did not reveal Lurrus, so it's quite an easy mulligan. Again, another situation where Saga would be better off being an island. Those happen quite a lot. Oh, mulligan. This hand is good against Jewel and bad against Dredge. My whole deck is bad against Dredge unless I'm doing combo-oriented gaming, though. So it's kind of tough for that sense. I think I'm just going to put back the swords and pray. How do I know? Oh, well, all results. I don't know his league results. I don't know anything about league. I'm just looking at his last challenge results, which are all public data. Anyone can go use the dashboard to look at players' challenge results. And probably everyone should. So this could be mono white. He doesn't have a lot of mod. I feel like no. We went 1 and 5, 2 and 4. And then 1 and 5. I don't think you're forced into forcing this, and you don't want to force this if your opponent is on Jewel. Oh, they revealed a Chancellor. Never mind. I guess I'll die. So I've been to Swords to Plowshares here. My one main deck Swords to Plowshares. So I don't think I'm supposed to keep swords. I am extremely dead. So I need to draw Mox so I can pay for Chancellor with Mox, and then I can go for... I mean, this is going to get too big. It's going to be out of Flame of Anor range. I drew the Mox, though. I mean, I can still win this game via combo, right? That's certainly still within range as well. I am not going to be unable to Flame of Anor this thing, though. And there is a Swords on the bottom of my library. The last card of my library is Swords to Plowshares. If I had kept Swords to Plowshares, I actually think I'd probably be favored in this game, but I didn't. Yeah, I think if I had kept Swords to Plowshares here, I would have been favored. But it's kind of a hard guess when your opponent has no initiative results in the last 3 months. And they've been seen playing Jewel and Dredge. Drew Mana Crypt. All right, well, I'll force Mana Crypt. And I'm going to pitch... I don't think this Flame does anything at this point. I'm going to Merchant Scroll. I guess I'm just dead, right? Because this thing hits me to 6. So I have to dodge... Jesus Christ. I have to dodge a spell on the top of their library. Because Forge is going to put me down 5 life, and this will put me down... No, I have just enough. I'll have one more. All right, well, I have Merchant Ancestral, and then a Hope and a Prayer. I could go for Chain, right? But I don't think that's a winning line. Maybe I could have gone for Chain. Hey, there's my swords. So I take 5 and I go to 8, and I take 6 or 7 and go to 1 or 2. If my opponent doesn't find a creature on this turn, it's very winnable. There's a White Plume on top. That is particularly bad for me. They might not even have a land, but they wouldn't keep it on top if they didn't have a land, and they have another 3-drop. And they have an Archon. Okay, that's... I was so close to pulling out of this game. All right, well, we'll give it our best shot, right? We'll Swords the Archon, and we'll go Mana Vault, Trainer, and we need to hit PO off of this. We hit PO. A 4? That does not look good for me. That does not look good for me. I think that's deterministically dead. Drew 4 and died. Average Justin PO. I think we just play Ruby, Vault, Sapphire, Trainer trying to hit Lotus. Yeah, it's just that's the log T1 lie. It's just a filthy lie. Hit the time walk. Hit the time walk. Well, that's a thing you can find on the data sheet. What kind of time span you looking for, MTG name? How since Tezzeret? Since Tezzeret, 19% of decks are mono white, even though it's a just above 50% win rate deck. I already used my land drop this turn, and I can't probe. Mono White Initiative is a very medium deck that is extremely overplayed, but it is a deck that can win. Almost got my way out of a really rough spot there. That was a Black Lotus Chancellor on the play draw for Mono White, and I almost won. This is a matchup I really enjoy. I think it's quite good. I'm gonna bring in Swords, Negation, Consign on the play. Probably Portable, but let me just check how many Null Rods are in the stock list. Hey Log, did you get to see me cast PO for 4 and lose? Classic. Some number of Null Rods on the board. On the play, we want Vexing Bauble. We don't really want Mishra's Bauble. We don't really want Mental Misstep or Gataxian Probe or Flusterstorm. We want Dress Down. We want all of our lands. We want Ancestral. We want our removal. We want to probably cut Merchant Scroll and maybe trim a stock up. Yeah, something like that. All right, on the play versus Mono White. I've got a hand with no blue mana again. So a mulligan. My opponent kept. His hand's reasonable. Don't know if I'm putting back Force. I would never trim Snapcaster Mage because Snapcaster Mage snaps back Source of Plowshares. Yes, it doesn't do that versus Archon, but that's okay because usually your first Sword is on an Archon. I think I'm cutting Force here. And then I'm holding up Consign. If I get wasted, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna float swords. White like I have swords. I'm just fucking dead. I don't think that was wrong. I guess I could have been stock up and kept Force. Well, I sure hope I hit a land. It's not the worst draw. Cavern. Dragon. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I just need to hit that blue land, I guess. Swords. All right. I don't know, chat. Was I supposed to not lead on Tundra, hold up, consign? Was that incorrect? I feel like there's no way that was wrong. Yeah. I don't I I don't know. I mean, I think I would make that play again. Might just not be a Magic Knight. Another game of Saga being terrible. Can I cut it? I know I'm not allowed to cut it, but I want to cut Saga so bad. It's just every single time. It just doesn't make blue mana, doesn't make white mana. I mean, I guess I just can't win these games if I don't have any lands in my top 16 cards. I don't know. All right, well, we've been talking about this hand for quite a while, and there's like a lot of... So like, it's just, unfortunately, it's not a very strong hand. So whatever we do, we are pigeonholed into certain things. Like, I'm pretty sure that we can't bottom Ruby or Saga, which are like theoretical options. But I also think that we still can't bottom Force, because what if our opponent has a Chancellor here? And so I think it makes more sense to just bottom the Consign and keep the rest of your hand and jam. If there's no Chancellor, you jam turn 1 Trainer. And if there is a Chancellor, then you go... you might go Saga Ruby or Tundra Ruby. Probably Saga. I don't know. It's one of those two. But if they don't have a Chancellor, then you can play a turn 1 Thunder Trap. Your Thunder Trap has to freaking hit like Ancestral Flame or Stock Up, because if you are probably, the opponent has a 7-card keep, you're almost certainly forced into forcing something on turn 1. The opponent didn't actually keep a hand where we were forced to force something on turn 1. They kept a hand that was Strip Mine and Vexing Bauble. I don't think so. I wouldn't play around my opponent taking out Chancellors on the draw. No, I would never play around my opponent doing that. I don't think very many people do that. It's a crapshoot. I wouldn't put that into my my calculations. Even if it was correct, like even if everyone said 100% you should always take out the Chancellors on the draw, which is not the case. People don't say that 100%. Like, people will still just not take out the Chancellors on the draw. So but I think that my reasoning doesn't make any sense, and it's unfortunate that my opponent didn't have a hand that played a turn 1 creature. Their hand was based around the idea of turn 1 Vexing Bubble, which is an interesting thing to lean on in the draw, but they did have Ancient Tomb plus Cavern. So what they can do is they can go turn 1 Cavern or turn 1 Ancient Tomb, play a Vexing Bubble on turn 2, play an uncounterable Dragon, which is fine, right? So like, they're baiting out the Force on turn 1 with the Vexing Bubble, and then they're fine. It's just a slow hand from them. It's a hand that's going to probably lose to like a high-powered PO hand. So I think it's like very much like a questionable, but probably within range keep. Unfortunately, because their hand is that slow Vexing Bauble, no Moxen hand, the fact that they had a Wasteland in their hand meant that my Tundra plan doesn't work. If I had a fetch land, I think my play is fine. Like, I actually think my play is good if this is a fetch land. But because my card is a Tundra, I don't think it really works the way I want it to. And so I guess we just have to go all in on turn 1 Thunder Trap into Force. Like, it might not have worked out either, right? So if I go turn 1 Thunder Trap here, I get the Ancestral Recall that's on the top of my library. It's in the top couple cards, right? If my opponent still they see Ancestral off of Thunder Trap, if they wasteland my Tundra here, I'm still probably gonna die because I simply didn't draw any mana, right? Like, these were my top. I mean, we don't. Yeah, these were my top 4. So I would have gotten rid of these 3. So maybe the next card down is mana or something, but like, it's definitely possible that like I still lose if I make the other line, which is play this Thunder Trap Trainer and keep Force. I just think it was a really unfortunate. But like, if my opponent has a Wasteland and they see me hold up Swords / Consign / Spell Pierce, like, they're gonna Wasteland me, right? So yeah, but I mean, Masaga still has all the same problems as like getting Wastelanded, right? and they have like a Witch Enchanter for my Saga. Like it's not like straightforward or anything, but I think my choice is wrong. I think my choice is wrong mostly because of Chancellor, to be perfectly honest. Like I think my hand actually, because I bottomed the Force, I'm actually super dead to Chancellor here. Like it's actually really bad for me. Like this hand doesn't actually play the game against a Chancellor. Like I'll just lose on the spot pretty much. So I think that's like the biggest reason. And we talked a little bit about like, should opponent be boarding out Chancellors on the draw? And like I don't think you're allowed to factor that into your decision, because I don't think enough people board in the same way that you can make a legitimate hedge on your bet. So I mean, this isn't like amazing hand or anything, but I feel like it's a hand you can theoretically win some games with if maybe I played it out differently. This game, I got Chancellor Lotus turn 1 seasoned. I paid, and I mean, I almost got out of this game alive, which is pretty crazy. They must have drawn Crypt for turn, or maybe they could have held Crypt theoretically. It's a little greedy in case I had like Vexing Bauble, but forcing that is correct. This is Ancestral is good. And then like if my opponent misses here on a creature, I think I'm in a great spot. Because they had land Archon, I have to Swords the Archon, and I'm forced to win the game on the same turn. It's good I found the Swords again, though. That's pretty lucky. Found the PO, and then I PO'd for 4, and I just missed. I don't think this PO for 4 wins, like, a humongous amount of the time. I would say less than 50% of the time this PO for 4 wins. But it certainly wins some amount of the time. Like, if you hit another PO here, you're probably winning. You hit the Time Walk, you're probably winning. Hell, even like stock up here could theoretically hit you like Mox Opal Time Walk and things like that. I think we actually put ourselves in a spot to win a really tough game here. Like this is one of your best, not your best draw, because you're not playing, like if this was turn 1 Archon, it's your best draw as a mono white, but like turn 1 Chancellor, Protected Lotus, 4-drop, Mana Crypt. I mean, it's Mana Crypt Lotus, so like it's up there as one of their best possible draws. So like actually we put up a pretty good fight here. If I had I just bonked my media player. If I had kept the swords, in this opener and just said maybe my opponent is on mono white, how would that have changed things? I would have had to been lame, I guess. And my swords would not have been particularly good until this turn, when I would be able to merchant and swords instead, and I'll have 7 more life. But then then I'd actually just die to the Archon because I wouldn't have the ability to swords again. Would have actually worked out worse probably, because I probably would have swords to mitigate life total loss. I guess theoretically I could have let Mana Crypt resolve. It's like super risky though. You could have Peacekeeper afterwards, and then I don't have any game. Yeah, you can't let that resolve. All right. I mean, like I said, I honestly don't believe I'm 0-4 now, right? Or no, I won 1 game. I don't really feel like I played too badly. I think you could definitely say that this mulligan might have been rough. I went the wrong direction on this mulligan, but it's kind of been an off day. All right, round 3 of this prelim. We're up against Dredge, and so this will give me a good opportunity to test out the ley lines in my sideboard. Is this hand good enough to beat Dredge? I can see a world where I can pull it off. I think it's a keep. I also should be just keeping this in the blind versus an unknown opponent anyways, so... Like, I'm always keeping this in the blind, right? So I should just be trying for it. Let's see. Okay, so yep, it's a 7-card, 2 Bazaar, 2 Force of Will, no Dredger hand. Hmm. I think I'm supposed to lead Saga. I think I'm supposed to lead Saga and get to another Mox in as fast as possible. I don't think the constructs would matter very much. All right, so they drew for turn. She drew for turn. And let's see if she finds dredgers. I don't have a lot of time, right? I guess if she misses on dredgers, then I do have some time. Wow, discarded a Bazaar. Pitched Icarid Bridge. Hollow one. I'm just gonna force this. With no dredger in the yard. I think I'm willing. This has gotta be the third Bazaar. She could keep double force to prevent me from doing things, but I'm not convinced that's really helpful for her, so. All right, so Hollow one is in. This looks really bad for me, though. She might just force this trainer so she can go all in on the dredging. Yeah. I like that play. Because now she can just... Well, she can't activate an upkeep. So she still has to draw once naturally. But then she gets to play the second Bazaar and then just go nuts. Didn't play a second Bazaar. No, I was assuming that was the third Bazaar. So that must mean she has another force? That must mean she has a third force, right? Do another land? It's like a terrible draw here. No, Mind Break Trap misstep. You would have played second Bazaar and pat and hold up. Like, no, I don't think so. I mean, I can get Vexing Bauble. Probably I'm just supposed to. And kill the hollow one. I don't know. I'm not really convinced killing the hollow one here is very good, but I mean, the only way this makes sense to my head is that she has another piece of interaction, so. And I can buy Lurrus next turn and then replay Lurrus the following turn. I just don't think it's fast enough is the problem. I probably should have waited on this until... whatever. All right, found a Dredge 3, yeah. So they should at least force Noxious. Or could have had force Noxious. Oh, wait, this makes a freaking bridge from below token. Okay, this was terrible. I should have... I mean, I had to do it then, though, because that was the only time I had mana. I'm dead. I don't know how the hell I was supposed to play this out to a way that I can win, but I am very dead here, right? What is this last card that she had? You just should just start dredging, right? I mean, okay. That's a miss. I should have just drawn 2 cards with this flame. Destroying the thing was really bad. I forgot about the bridge from below for sure. I should have just drawn 2 cards with flame. Though I don't know how I'm going to turn on Metalcraft, so. All right, that hit. No, that's all 4 Bazaars. She was holding Bazaar. I'm so confused. There's therapies. No, I mean, I'm just straight up dead here no matter what. I don't think anything I did in this game mattered. I think I need to crack this first and hit a Mox and cast stock up. All right, I don't think anything I did in that game particularly mattered against that hand, but we do get to board in Leyline, so we'll see how this works out for us. Island, swords, misstep, probe. All right. Dress down's pretty bad too. Maybe probe's better than dress down. I don't know. I wonder if she had that third bazaar and held it. And then I'm not really sure. Because if I had a second bazaar there, I would have played it and then I would have just gone crazy. Unsure. All right, that's a great hand. Keep. She rolled a 5 and then powdered, and I have a ley line. And I'm gonna play a stock up. Force Fluster. Yeah, that's the one. Already into Mindbreak Trap territory, so no reason not to play them Emerald out. Well, this certainly looks like the Leyline of the Void strategy for the Dredge player. Don't have a problem with Hollow One. Should be able to beat that. Second Hollow One sounds kind of bad for me. Feel like if she had a Vigor, she would Vigor in my upkeep, so it's fine. I guess I can't loop trainers. Huh. I'm gonna force this. I'm just trying to figure out if I'm supposed to force with Flusterstorm. Like, am I supposed to play around my opponent having Hollow One Vigor? You can't really Vigor in the upkeep because of PO, right? If I do get Vigored, I can't play. Yeah, I'm gonna force this pitching Fluster, which maybe that's crazy, but I'm actually kind of worried now. Lotus would be pretty good if I had a Lurrus. Stock up. Maybe I was just supposed to kick a trainer there. All right. Well, I have PO. I have 4th Airlingas. I have Sapphire. It's gotta just be Sapphire PO, maybe. Like Sapphire PO. looks pretty good. I think I'll just Lotus for an Ancestral, and then like if my opponent has a Mindbreak Trap, we get it out of here right now. I mean, maybe I could just hold off and go for a Flame, but... well, yeah, I guess that's a pretty reasonable reason to not do what I just did. Hmm. All right, I'm gonna take a shot to the dome here. My opponent's gonna have to have exactly Vigor or Force. Don't think I'm playing around Negation. Pretty sure I can just cast this. Those are... That's a PO for 4, drawing 4 lands. They could still have Mindbreak Trap. But don't really think I'm supposed to play around that. Don't think I'm supposed to play a land either. No, I don't think so. I think like if they have trap, they trap the trainer, and that's fine. I will fetch. Then I would just PO for 3 again. This is my last PO? Oh no, I got one more PO after this. Oh, I found all my POs in my top 29. It's kind of lucky. Fourth Erlingas. I'm not really a freeze believer. I have 10, so I could kick a trainer and PO. I'm just gonna grab another Mox. Don't think a Flusterstorm is very necessary here. I guess at this point I'll grab a Force. And I'll PO. Those are all of my POs. All right. Oh, I have a Snapcaster, so now I have 4 more POs. I will PO one more time. Snap. Yo, I have 20 cards in my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's fine. And then Mox, 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 blue, Mox, colorless. Do this, and this. This is fine. Also time walk. And I'll attack. All right. Storm count 48. It's always nice. And we run it back. This hand blows. I almost want to put this back because I don't actually have like the lands to cast spells, the mocks to cast spells, force. Like, yeah, I have ley lines, but second ley line doesn't do anything. So it's like a 6-card hand. If this hand had an additional land or a force or a mox, I would probably keep it, but I think this is a mulligan. This hand definitely does not win against Dredge, so this has to be a mulligan. Maybe I should just get my first one and lived and died. Oh, this is definitely my best hand. Oh, I'm probably dead, though. I don't know. I just don't think you can keep that 7-card hand, even though it has ley lines. I just don't think it's good enough. Like, I'm not mulliganing 2 ley line. It's just adding an additional set of viable hands. I just don't think that hand... Like, if that hand, like, think of that hand having no lands, basically. This hand has game, but it's pretty bad against grief, so... Hollow 1, no Dredger, Chalice on 0. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Pretty sure that means we're dead. It's okay. I do think the ley line plan worked really well game 2, so... Looks like this is a force and chalice and hollow 1 hand, probably. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat these 7-card Dredge keeps at any time, so... She had a pair of very good 7s with multiple pieces of interaction. This hand might have worked out against no chalice. This hand might have worked out against no chalice. Like, this was very possible. Yep. She. Vigor was discarded. So this hand probably had Vigor too. Decent likelihood this hand also had Vigor. There's a Stinkweed Imp. No activation and upkeep. That's weird. Maybe there's still like a Mindbreak Trap or a Noxious or something. Surprised with no activation and upkeep. It means that she's preserving a card. Yeah, I think in general tonight we made the correct plays for the most part, and it just did not work out in any way. I don't know though. When I lose like to Dredge anyways after bending over backwards to put ley lines in my board, it's like, man, should I really have done that? Could have had additional okay, so she was preserving a grief. It makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Should I really be doing it? I mean, I did just like mulligan a ley line 7, right? But to be fair, my ley line 7 might have been good against this hand. Depending on like when they found the green for vigor. Probably not. It was probably still losing. But like if I drew land off the top, at least I had land trainer and I wasn't getting punished by Chalice of the Void. I don't typically like build game plans around Chalice of the Void in any capacity. Like it's just a thing that can sometimes happen. And it just sometimes it happens. I got bullied here. Yeah, I don't really feel like this was a bad, I don't know, like the matchups weren't bad per se. And I don't even feel like the things we did were particularly egregious. It just didn't really line up the way we wanted it to. And I think that's something that happens in Magic, which is unfortunate because this is one of the decks that I try to play because I think it's very consistent and good at giving me opportunities to play the game. But sometimes your PO opponent draws more restricted cards than you. Your mono white opponent has turn 1 Chancellor, Chalice, Lotus, and then you find Dredge in the O2 bracket. So it happens. GG's. Don't worry, we're gonna have more content along the way. We've got big events coming up. Vintage Championship weekend. So for more vintage content on the YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll see you then.